Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a walking tour of Old North End right here in Colorado Springs. So if that interests you, stay tuned. We're going to talk about all that and more. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. If this is your first time, this is where we talk about everything related to where to live, work, eat, play right here in the Colorado Springs and Pikes Peak region. Like I said, we're going to be taking a walking tour of Old North End right here in Colorado Springs. But first, if you didn't know, we are licensed realtors here in the state of Colorado. So as much as we love making these videos for you guys, we love helping our clients find their dream home. So if that's you, please reach out, call, email, text. We're the guys who answer all of those things, and we'd love to help you out. But without further ado, let's jump right into it, Chris.
Let's get on it, man. Hey, so like Sam said, we're just gonna walk around the Old North End a little bit. So we are on the far north side of the Old North End.
Yep.
I think you see a sign over there, maybe that says Old North End right
Yep.
over there. So this is Memorial Hospital downtown. Big hospital right over there. This is Cascade Avenue is what we're on right now. So we're on the north side of what is known as the officially Old North End. It's an old historic district of Colorado Springs. And man, this area has risen in popularity over the last few years, I would say for sure. The Old North End, it's always been really desirable. A lot of homes were built turn of the century, so late 1800s, early 1900s, and then up until, you know, some of the areas right on the outskirts of Old North End are probably in the 50s. But just really cool architecture, old houses. A lot of them have been restored. There's a wide range of, you know, smaller homes as you would typically see around that early 1900s time frame. But then there's also some really large homes that we're gonna have you guys check out as well. Sorry for the wind, it's a little windy out today. But yeah, so some of those homes that we're gonna show you part of Wood Avenue. And Wood Avenue is, I guess it was, I think it was called back in the day, I've heard people call it Millionaire's Row. It's where a lot of the folks that made it big in Colorado Springs in the during the gold rush built huge mansions over there. So that's Wood Avenue. Right now, like I said, we're on Cascade. So just giving you a little bit of idea. These are some of the smaller houses for sure. Most of them in the Old North End have been updated. There's still a few that haven't been, but if they haven't been updated, they're rapidly getting scooped up by investors to remodel them and then resell them. It's a good mix of, it's kind of a pretty good mix of demographic down here as far as age demographics. You have folks that have been down here for quite a while. You know, we actually just had a client purchase a home in the Old North End last week, and the folks that they bought it from had been in the home for 40 years. They were the second owners of the property, so that was a pretty cool house for them to get. It was built in, it was 1923 if I remember right. But so you have some folks that have been down here for a long time before downtown was cool, if you will. But then you have a lot of younger folks as well that want to be close to downtown. It's definitely walking distance to the kind of the nightlife, dining area downtown, things of that nature. And you know, there's a lot of homes that support small families down here. So a lot of the homes aren't super big, but definitely big enough if you have a kiddo or two. So you have a lot of, you know, folks that are late 20s, early 30s, and then all the way up to folks that are in their 70s and 80s. So like I said, a pretty cool mix of age demographic downtown. Sam, you used to live pretty close to, well, still do.
Yeah.
Live close to the area.
Yeah.
You guys come downtown Old North End very much, or?
We do. So one of my favorite things, again, sorry about the wind, it's that time of year. It's fall time where you got the hot air and the cold air mixing, and so it's just kind of that time. But yeah, that's definitely, at least being the age we are, probably our favorite part of downtown. You're close to everything, close to anything you want to do as far as nightlife, entertainment, some of the best restaurants in the area. Yeah, you're close to it all down here. Yeah, we used to live kind of up by the University Village area, maybe a 10-minute drive, something like that, from the downtown area. One of the things I love, once you get into that Old North End downtown area, everything becomes super walkable. So you can just kind of park your car, go have a great night out, get back to your car, head right back home, and not really have to worry too much about how you're going to get around. So
Yeah, definitely very walkable. A lot of just big mature trees. A lot of Colorado Springs is sometimes the term has a negative connotation, but there is a little bit of urban sprawl where it's just a lot of communities are built real tight together, kind of on the plains. I mean, there's Colorado Springs is a high desert area, so pretty arid environment. So typically you don't find a lot of forested areas, but downtown you do, because I mean you're closer to Fountain Creek that flows through the downtown area. So you get a little bit more moisture flowing from the creek. So you get, kind of some bigger trees, things of that nature. And a lot of the stuff, I mean, these trees were planted, these streets were put in, 1880s, 1890s-ish. So, a lot of these trees down here have, sorry, we just got attacked by sprinklers. We got to make our way around. You guys are getting to see all the fun stuff of filming for you as we get soaked with sprinklers in Colorado Springs. So so you get like a lot of big mature trees. Nevada Avenue, like I said, we're on right now. One over to the east here we're on Cascade right now. Nevada is one road over to the east, and it's the same style where it's a big divided road. So you get, northbound, southbound, and a big median in the middle with big mature trees. Landscaping is really nice in the Old North End area. And the Old North End, it's historically protected area to a large degree. So if you want to do remodels, or if you want to change the exterior of the property, you have to go through a little bit of a special process to make sure that the architecture matches, or that at least it's, I guess, of a quality look on the outside. So it is, it keeps the area looking nice for sure.
Yeah, I would definitely say kind of top draws in the area.
Well, yeah, we got to do the top three, man. Yeah.
Top three things in this area.
Neighborhood.
So, as you can tell, architecture down here, absolutely beautiful. This neighborhood has so much historical value. It's kind of centered around, I would say, the CC campus, or the Colorado campus. Super historical part of town as well, right there at the campus. Most of these homes, as Chris mentioned, going to be built, late 1800s, turn of the century. Most of them been updated, but updated well to kind of preserve that historical architecture, preserve some of the character down here. So that's obviously a huge draw, is just all the different architectural styles you're going to find down here. Lots of beautiful old craftsmen, beautiful Victorians, things of that nature. Just everything from Colorado Springs' founding era. This neighborhood kind of tells that whole story. So sorry, got an ambulance going by now. We are next to the hospital, so makes sense. Number two draw in this neighborhood, I would say definitely the proximity to downtown. Like we mentioned earlier, lots of stuff to do in the downtown area, lots of food, shopping, dining, entertainment, all that stuff, and people just love being super close to all the action right there within the city.
Downtown area,
yeah. What'd you say is the third, big draw to this neighborhood?
Ooh, man. So you talked about just the architecture and overall just kind of community beautifulness, I guess.
Yeah.
The proximity to everything, for sure. Man, that's a good question.
I would say for me,
yeah,
housing values in this neighborhood tend to be fantastic, tend to be maybe a little bit more sheltered from everything else because of those things.
I think because there is such a high demand for the downtown area, especially for Old North End,
yeah,
you're not as concerned about maybe some price drops as you might be in other areas, just because there is still so much demand.
Right.
So yeah, prices have definitely went up a lot. But I believe for what you get, it's still pretty good value.
Oh yeah.
Here's a good example of some of the larger homes, and then kind of mixed in between here is a smaller ranch home in between. For me personally, another thing, and this is why my wife and I considered the Old North End before we moved into Black Forest, just proximity to the foothills and the mountains.
Yeah.
So you get the nice urban feel of, hey, if you want to go grab a bite to eat, go hit up a brewery, you can ride your bike down there. Big mature trees, that was a big thing, that was a big draw for us to Black Forest, was the trees. So downtown you get those big mature trees. you can find some larger lots down here as well, but then you're also right by the foothills. So if you want to go hit up the incline up Bar Trail, Pikes Peak, you know, you're 10 minutes to Manitou Springs. If you want to go, I mean, Guard of the Gods, Red Rocks Canyon, Ute Valley Park, whatever it is, you're about a 10-minute drive from kind of all those.
Yeah.
So just the proximity to outdoor stuff, I think, is a big draw for downtown as well.
Yeah.
So you get that good mix of, you know, outdoor adventure right with the urban, you know, the urban feel as well.
Right. Yep. You know what else is kind of an often overlooked point down here is the lot sizes.
Yeah, you can get some, you know, you kind of get those larger lots. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of things down here are zoned R2. Don't ask me what that means. All I know what it means is that you're typically getting a heck of a lot larger lot than you're going to get anywhere else in the city versus, you know, an R1 or an R1 6000 or whatever the case may be. So the lot sizes down here can be absolutely fantastic. It's just a really good mix of things that you're not really going to get anywhere else in town. Historical architecture and character, super close proximity to downtown, the outdoor things, as you mentioned. Great lot sizes, home values tend to hold very steady, do very well in the area. It's a super stable neighborhood, mature trees everywhere, well established. So it's hard to find that combo all in tandem anywhere else in the city, I would say.
Yeah, it's definitely unique. There's no other place like the Old North End anywhere else in Colorado Springs. I think for a lot of folks, you know, if you're watching this and you're from out of town, to me, I feel the Old North End downtown area has a lot of similarities to kind of that original downtown center and just most of Midwest and a lot of kind of like mid-Atlantic states, where a lot of those towns were founded in the 1800s. So a lot of the architecture is the same. You've got big tree-lined streets, big wide streets, and it just has that, I don't know, it just has that beautiful look to it. It kind of just makes you feel like, hey, this is like old school America right here.
Yeah.
And yeah, in Colorado Springs, you've got other neighborhoods with big houses. You've got other neighborhoods with, you know, with mature trees, but nothing that really has the mix and the proximity is what the Old North End does. So this is Wood Avenue that we're walking down right now. So to give you an idea, this is a good example of a house on Wood Avenue. You can see very large home, probably built, I would say, you know, early, probably 19 teens, if I remember right.
Yep. Is that the Sharps mansion?
I don't know if this is. I feel like I've been in this house before. So a lot of these homes, I mean, it's pretty crazy what they have inside of them, because again, they were built by, you know, folks that made it big during the gold rush, you know, late 1800s, 1870s, 80s here, 90s in Colorado Springs. But a lot of these homes, I mean, they're pretty crazy inside. They have ballrooms inside of them. One of the homes that I've been in here, Sam, I don't know if I don't know if you've been in this house. I can't remember exactly where it is, but there's a couple on Wood Avenue that I've shown that had this. So they have a big ballroom inside of it, and then they actually have a skinny staircase into the back corner of the ballroom, and that was where the lady of the house, like whoever the owner's wife was, would actually come down and make her entrance into the ballroom during big events. So they have like a big grand staircase out front, but then they have like a little staircase in the back for people to come down. So just like, I mean, just unique little things that you just don't find in modern houses now, for sure.
Yeah. I don't know, sometimes during these walking tours, it can be hard to find things to talk about because we're just looking at it and seeing it, you know, right here in person rather than, you know, sitting down in front of a camera and talking about it. But you just can't harp on the beauty of the area enough. I mean, if I can get out here onto, you know, some of these other sidewalks here, just give you a shot of the beautiful, beautiful tree-lined streets out here. I mean, right now we're kind of, you know, it's definitely, you know, a little less leafed out and green than it would normally be, but just an absolutely beautiful area. Springtime, when everything starts popping back and leaves start filling trees everywhere, I mean, it's just wild to see you know, this entire street lined all the way down with just beautiful, beautiful trees. And we're kind of just at the tail end of, you know, fall and leaf peeping season here, but when all the colors start to change right here on this street, just absolutely beautiful.
You know, one thing we haven't talked about, I guess we probably should, is what the heck are home prices like here? So,
Man,
as I mentioned, Old North End is not an inexpensive place to live.
No.
There's a lot of demand for it. The homes are beautiful, all the pros we talked about. So I would say probably entry price point is one of the biggest cons of downtown right now, Old
Yeah.
North End specifically. You know, for some of the really small bungalows, if they've been relatively updated, not, you know, crazy updated, but relatively updated, you know, you're looking in the 600s. You might be able to find something in the 5s if it's really small and needs a little bit of work. But for the most part, you're going to be 6s and up. And then on Wood Avenue, where we're walking down right now, you know, some of these houses you're going to be into the 7 figures in for sure.
yeah.
So it's not necessarily a first-time buyer place. We've had first-time buyers that have bought here. Typically, you know, folks that are high-income earners, you know, maybe doctors fresh out of school, something like that, where they have a really high income. But for the most part, people that buy in this area have, you know, bought another home and then they've sold that home to cash in on some of the equity. But yeah, so for the most part, I'd say probably average is 750 to 800 for downtown area. For the Old North End, the folks that I mentioned that we had that just moved in on Friday over on Nevada, their house is, I want to say it was about 3,000 square feet, built in 1923. Really nice house, all original woodwork, and, you know, nothing, the trim hadn't been painted or anything like that. So it was all original woodwork, and they paid, I want to say it was $727 for that house. All right, so everybody, we're gonna turn off of Wood Avenue, and we're gonna head back to the east now, back towards Cascade, the road that we started on. We're probably about halfway north to south from where we started out. We started on that far north side of what's technically Old North End. We're probably about halfway down to the south. Old North End's at Uinta Avenue, is the official ending of Old North End, right by the place that Sam mentioned earlier, Colorado College. So we're probably about halfway down there, but this just gives you a really good idea, good representation of what the neighborhood looks like, what the houses look like. Talk about price point a little bit, kind of what the pros are, why people like the area down here. Sam, is there anything else you can think of about Old North End?
No, I mean, that's really, I mean, the gist of it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful neighborhood. I can't say it enough. It's an area that, you know, someday I hope to be living in. We love this area so much, and it's for all those reasons that we mentioned, the historic properties, you know, and everything that comes with the character and things that, you know, come with those homes that were built in this time frame. Proximity to downtown, proximity to outdoor activities, you know, all those things are, yeah, just the best parts of downtown and Old North End especially. So,
well, I think that's where we're getting walked out here, guys. It's a little windy out, and
yeah.
So, like we said, hey, we always say, any questions at all, if you need more information, or if you have interest in the Old North End or any other part of Colorado Springs, definitely please take the time, reach out to us, call, text, email. Sam and I are the ones that answer the phone, so you'll be hearing back from us direct. And yeah, if there's any additional info specifically that we can get you, hit us up in the comments. Let us know what it is. We'll definitely take the time to do that for you guys. Until next time, talk soon.